Those demands on life now become expectations. We say expectations are resentments under construction. Expectations are resentments under construction. They're premeditated resentments is what they are. So now my expectations, because I'm not just going to say I have a demand, I have to turn this into something that is what we call cognitive congruent, right? That egosyntonic is the fancy word for it. So I have to, so now I turn it into a rule. Well, it's an unenforceable rule, but it's a rule that this is the way things are supposed to be. If you love me, you would fill in the blank. Right. That's my unenforceable rule.
And the parents didn't do this on purpose.
No, this is a
part of the limited toolbox that they inherited. Correct?
We are victims of victims. We are victims of victims. I'll say this over and over again. We are all victims of victims, which makes nobody a victim. It's just the way things are now. They can only give us what they have. That's never enough. They're in trance until they wake up. They can't pass on anything new. You know, one of the great things I see in working with people in recovery, as soon as somebody gets into recovery, you know, what we say is that if you don't transform your pathology, you're going to transmit it. If you don't transform it, you transmit it. But once you transform it, you also transmit that. You transmit the transformation.
1 second. Wait, listen. Can I just tell everybody that's in the room right now, there have been about 70 quotations that Dr. Alan Berger has shared with us during this movement. If I don't see memes and y'all tag us both in these memes on Instagram, we are all victims of victims.
That's right.
Come on, man. Listen. Y'all got to tag us on these.
But in every effort, let's say you grew up in a household where there was alcoholics, and you say, I definitely will not, you know, be drinking when I'm older. I will not marry an alcoholic. I will not, you know, engage in it. You may truly not marry the alcoholic, which is the first step, which is great. However, you have to understand how growing up in an alcoholic household, for example, has influenced your perception of relationships, has influenced your perception of trust, has influenced your perception of alcohol in general. Are you going to turn your nose up every time your partner has a glass of wine, even though they're not, you know, an addict? But if you don't understand those things, that's great that you achieve the not marrying the alcoholic. But if you have no understanding of how all of this influenced you, there are going to be some unhealthy traits that trickle down. And one of those could be the conflict, because you saw arguing in the alcoholic household, right? Now you still have that conflict. So you didn't marry the alcoholic, but you're still bringing over that the negative conflict resolution. Same thing. That trauma, that generational curse of alcoholism, you tried it on your own, but without stepping back, looking at yourself, really dissecting the issue, it limits the chance of you really shifting completely. So there's a complete 180 in changing these generational cycles.
Wow, man. Are you telling me that our ancestors are a type of baton, and whatever was incomplete on their journey, they pass it to you for completion, for resolution through you?
Absolutely. Now listen to this. A few minutes ago, I said they had their shot, they had their time. But there is a memory, there is a behavior, there's a trait and a trauma. How you judge it good or not good, that's in your blood. This is why I never focus on being, I'm gonna be that good. If you're just that good, there is no lesson. Lesson comes through friction. Why? That's how you got here, brothers and sisters, through friction. You wasn't looking pretty having sex when the orgasm came. Some parts of your life don't look pretty either. So when you look at the baton that's passed, it has to expand and grow, because remember, yesterday never comes back. You can look back to go forward, but to reenact an abusive behavior is not part of the process. You may be abused to get jolted to start the healing process.
Right.
Let me give you a better example. The process of reconciling with your ancestors, we call elevating them, meaning calling up on their attributes, their characteristics, what they did, even if they went to jail. You still call because that's part of their experience.
Right.
If they were abusers of any kind, physically, sexually, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever they were, the redemption starts for them with you not doing the things that they did. If you judge them as uncharacteristic of your life, the healing process has already begun. But if they were abusers and you have been abusive, that cycle is continuing. If they were absentee fathers and you're an absentee father, what do you expect for your son to be?
Oh yeah, this is working.
Yes, sir.
This is working. Teal,
Come on, man. Navy
cobalt,
blue.
blue,
Yeah.
right? But guess
They
what?
have no idea, right? Or for bad. When we shift for good, we've taken accountability of what we've been.
Don't be this guy. Raise your drive and libido